never connected with an animal the way I connected with Arnie. I still don't know what possessed me to go pick him up at the Fort Worth shelter December 3rd, 2020. But I now know that he was meant to be mine and change my life forever. Arnie was easily one of the sickest dogs I'd ever taken in. He had a large tumor on the side of his face, skin tags, bald spots on his ears and tail, almost no teeth, yeast in his paws, and an ascites belly from advanced heartworm disease. Despite his horrible condition, he immediately crawled into my lap for attention. It was instant love, and I could not take him back to the shelter like I had originally planned. Shortly after being tagged by Fort Worth Abandoned, his journey with heartworm treatment began. In total, he got 3 heartworm injections and was on kennel rest for over 2 months. Unfortunately, the damage to his heart was done, and we welcomed him into our hospice program. I made it my mission to spoil him. During these months is when we really got to see Arnie's personality. I brought him to every event I could. He even wore a bandana that said heartworms are preventable. He was one of the only dogs who I truly think loved events, and he would race to the car anytime he had his harness and bandana on. When he wasn't being his own advocate at our events, he was an incredibly silly and active dog. To everyone's surprise, he even enjoyed wrestling. One of his strangest and most adorable habits was his trancing. It was a very cute and silly behavior that I shared a lot on social media. I know many people enjoyed watching this silly habit, and Arnie seemed to enjoy doing it immensely. He also had the happiest feet. He loved to eat and would get very excited anytime we went into the kitchen, assuming that he was going to get a snack. And let's be honest, I fed him a snack almost every time I went to the kitchen.
Happy boy.
He would eat anything you offered him, from pizza to kale. His favorite position to lay was a sploot. I tried to post a picture of him doing it daily. He was a super cuddly dog and enjoyed sleeping in bed with us every night. I tried to post some of his antics daily so others could enjoy and love this dog. But it wasn't all sploots and dancing. Arnie had many vet visits. He often had to go in for a procedure that would relieve the swelling around his heart and lungs. This helped him breathe better. But it was never a long-term solution, and the swelling came back worse every time. At one point, he was even hospitalized overnight after an episode of tachycardia. His furosemide was upped, and he was started on pimobendan and several other medications. This episode accelerated his heart failure. I didn't know it, but we only had a couple of good months left. In his last month, there were times where it seemed like he was struggling to breathe, and in desperation, we got him an oxygen tank. We changed up his medications yet again in hopes to slow the swelling and the failing of his heart. I did everything I knew I could do to prolong his life. Finally, his kidneys failed. And I could see in his eyes that he was ready to go. In his last moments, I held him in my arms. I had my hand over his heart. And my husband, Melissa, and I let him go. No one should ever lose their beloved pet to a highly preventable disease. No one should lose their Arnie.